What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the WARFRAME video. So we have a good news video today for once. We have information. Actually, not even just information. They surprise hotfixed the game today with the stack decay bug fix. And I've already tested it. It seems like it is at least working on Merciless, the one I've tested it on so far. So we're going to go over the WARFRAME news today. There's also a surprise. They dropped the RIven Dispo changes on us out of nowhere because it's very likely that Khora Prime's coming out on Saturday too. And we actually have more evidence of that today. So before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you see all the videos going up. And make sure you get the live stream channel as well when we live stream. We'll be live streaming a lot this weekend. I'd probably say about like 25, 30 hours of live streaming WARFRAME gameplay. So come on and stop by if you want to check it out. Alright, so we have the official patch notes here, and yeah, I actually wasn't really expecting this. Oh, by the way, we've got Nightwave information too. So yeah, let's just start. I mean, there's a lot to read. We're gonna start with the patch notes, and I'm not gonna go over every Nightwave loot things. We already did that in the previous video, but we do know what the new augments are. So the two new augments are gonna be for the Tiburon and the Embolist. These will be probably like around like rank 20 or like 15 is gonna be the level you get these at, and the Tiburon augment's called Critical Precision. It's only for the burst fire mode of the Tiburon. Headshots increase critical chance by 10% up to 500%. So I'm guessing that will take multi-shot into account. So 500% crit chance until you miss a shot. Missing with all shots in a burst removes up to 100% of this. Oh, wow. So you can just keep that going for a long time. As long as you are missing with all shots. So I'm wondering if you can still keep it if you get body shots, or if missing a headshot also removes some of it as well. That's all burst. So this one actually seems pretty good. They seem to have taken my feedback from the previous season where it's like, I like that we're getting these augment mods, but these are underwhelming augment mods. This one sounds like it could be pretty good. Main problem is it's a Tiburon, and it's not a really a meta weapon type. But hey, whatever. Maybe it'll make it feel better. And we got, the second one is Vile Discharge for the Embolist. That's like an infested, like, toxin, cloud, pistol, barf thing. I don't know what exactly what's going on there, but this one is going to make it where damage is accumulated up to 30,000 damage. Use the alt fire to launch an explosive Vile sack, dealing and resetting. Oh, okay. So it gives the Embolist an alternative fire where basically you'll build damage up with the primary shot, which is like a gas laser. And then once you stack it up enough that you're like ready to throw it out, you push the alt fire button, you're going to fire off like an exploding projectile. Wonder how big the AoE will be. 30,000 damage is pretty high. That can crit and stuff. That sounds actually kind of interesting. So that's it for the new augment mods in Nightwave. Those will be available starting on Sunday once you grind up high enough. I guess they won't be available technically on Sunday because they'll require like rank 15. So you can look at them on Sunday, but you're going to have to grind a couple weeks to get access to them. So expect videos on those coming out on the channel whenever I get access to them. Alright, so we will be going over the RIven Disposition changes that were surprise sprung on us today. But as far as other fixes and changes, here's your evidence that Khora Prime is basically guaranteed on Saturday. For one, Garuda Prime access ends on Saturday. But number two, they added some unique special abilities to Khora's signature weapons. So there's high likelihood the dual Kharas Prime and the Hystrix Prime will be coming out on Saturday as well. But let's just go over what they changed here. The Hystrix, Khora's signature pistol, now has a signature effect of 8% chance to instantly reload after landing headshots when wielded by Khora. So the Hystrix is like a rapid fire, full auto pistol with some like force toxin proc, quills and all this kind of stuff. So that should be pretty good. It reloads a lot, so that actually isn't a bad unique passive to give it. 8% is, with multi-shot taken into account, it might actually happen more often than you'd think. And the dual Kharas now has a 20% heavy attack efficiency when wielded by Khora. Whatever. Like, it doesn't even matter. That's a useless passive because you're usually using a stat stick on Khora, and heavy attacking with dual swords, no. But yeah, that's pretty much your guarantee that Khora Prime's coming on Saturday. That's all I really care about there. The Hystrix buff is kind of nice. I'm expecting the Hystrix Prime to be pretty strong. The other things, Loke Surge now apply to everybody in your mission instead of allies nearby you. Reduce the platinum price of the Kubrau starter kit to 50 plat. They gave the reason why they did this here, but this just shows like, hey, why is an aura can sell like 10 plat in the market, stuff like that. Like you can go change that too. Like you can just remove that. Kuva Tricarians now can be CC'd once their Overguard's gone. I guess they had Overguard before, and like even if you broke it, you couldn't CC them. Whatever. Change some Spectres around. Here's the big thing right here. Well, a couple of the big things. So apparently the Fenmore, the Incarnon rifle, one of its Incarnon modes wasn't working, so Now the 50% more Incarnon and headshots thing is working properly. Not sure when that was broken. Fixed galvanized stackable buffs for galvanized scope and crosshair being removed all at once. So that actually was a bug, according to them. How I had that video from a long time ago where I'm like, don't use Deadhead. Deadhead's annoying. Like, you lose all the stacks at once, unlike Merciless. That was a bug. That was a bug the whole time, according to DE. So that means that, that's better for those things. Like, Dexterity will feel better. I don't know if Dexterity ran out. At least Deadhead and Galvanized Scope will feel better. Okay, so that's really good. And it's funny they call it a bug. All right. So, also we've got fixed being unable to manually block when in melee-only mode, unless you're using the hold aim. Okay. Where's that fix of the galvanized stacks? I know I saw it in here. Apparently, Molt Augmented and Molt Reconstruct weren't giving your Warframe extra revives. So that's good. Dude, no, they totally fixed it. Where is it? It might be in the changes part. Oh, Radiation Hazard Sortie will no longer appear in interceptions. That's very, very important. Dude, I know it was in here. Fine, I'll just show you it in game, okay? How about that? We don't need no patch notes. I'll show you in game how it's fixed. I know I breezed right over that line, but I ain't hunting it down. So we are in the Simulacrum right now. I got the Nadaruk, which is got a Corrosive build and a RIven. Not going to really matter. We're going to try to get 12 stacks of Merciless here and see what our damage numbers are looking like. Then we're going to let one of the stacks wear off. I should probably tap fire this. We're going to let one of the stacks wear off and see what our number is. Okay, that's okay, we're at 12 stacks now. The yellow crit 47957. Let's let a stack fall off. So, okay, losing one stack, still in the 44,000s. 47957. I'm going to wait a little bit, and then we're going to let those fall off while I'm talking about the Riven changes. It looks like the stack bug is fixed, at least on Merciless, though, guys. Just from that quick testing right there. Okay, even if I couldn't find the patch notes, I read them somewhere, okay? I read them somewhere. Now we're going to move on to the Riven changes here. But by the way, Nightwave is on Sunday, so keep an eye on the channel. I'm having some videos on that, too. So, they're supposed to release these when the Prime Access comes out, but Prime Access isn't out yet, and they're releasing it, so I don't have to tell you. But they're saying, make sure you check out Tennocon to see when Khora Prime gets dropped. All right, let's go over the rifles, and I'm going to just go ahead and spoil it right now. Look at this. There's no nerfs besides the Kuva Ogress. Expect the Kuva Ogress to go down to 0.6 at the lowest, I'm guessing like 6 months from now, if they don't just nerf AoE as a whole. But yeah, the Kuva Ogress went from 0.75 to 0.7. Just to put that number in perspective, my 3-stat with a negative Ogress Riven went from 62.4 multi-shot to 58.8 multi-shot. And the nerf before that, it went from 66.6 multi-shot to 62. So every 0.5 nerf on like a tri-stat with a negative, you're losing about 4% multi-shot. That's just to put that in perspective right there. On a dual stat, it'll probably be a little bit higher, like 6 or 7% multi-shot. But yeah, they'll probably nerf it at least 2 more times is my guess. All right, let's go over these. So AO Lock, that new weapon that came out with Zeramon, pretty much a generic rifle with, you know, an alt fire that explodes. It got a big Riven buff, but that's good because it actually had bug Dispo at launch to be at like 1.25, and then nerfed it down to 0.5, so now we're at 0.85. So decent. Ultranox, this thing I haven't even like fully leveled yet because people keep telling me it's so terrible. That got a big Riven buff too, so that's kind of good. I'm not going to use it still until I find a reason to. The Ambassador got another Riven buff, okay. The Fulman got a Riven buff. I'm happy about that. They nerfed my Fulman Riven so many times. The Kuva Karak getting a Riven buff. Yeah. It's probably one of the best assault rifles in the game. And sure. I mean, not going to use it, but sure. Thank you very much. Nagantaka Prime, that weapon came out with Garuda Prime, and they got a big Riven buff from 0.5 to 0.8. So if you're using a crossbow, go for it. Higher Riven stats. Nadaruk, the weapon I was just using, actually got another Riven buff. That's surprising. I don't think I'm at guaranteed red crits yet, but if they keep buffing it, maybe I will be. Fenmore, that's the rifle we were talking about earlier with it's the negative crit rifle. That got a Riven buff. So sure, I have even more negative crit, probably at like negative like 5% crit now. The Quellor getting a Riven buff, that thing is like hilarious for one-shotting enemies. So sure, it's not really practical to use it. That's probably why it's getting buffed here. Tenant Flux Rifle getting buffed. Tenant Tetra getting buffed. Okay, Trumna getting buffed. That's cool. Vermisplicer and Tomb Digger primaries both getting buffed. So Vermisplicer primary, that is so many red crits if they're buffing that again. So I'm happy about that. Overall, like I expected the Kuva Ogres to get nerfed. To put this in perspective, the Kuva Brahma and the Kuva Tsar are at 0.6 Dispo, and the Ogres has had higher Dispo for a while. So I'm definitely expecting them to be like equalized by the end of next year, maybe even the end of this year. All right, moving on to shotguns. We got the normal Archiplasmor. Don't get too excited. This is not the Tenet Archiplasmor. This is the normal Archiplasmor here, getting its Riven buffed. The Astilla Prime getting a small Riven buff. Babonico getting a small Riven buff. That's actually very surprising. That thing is like nutty. Maybe people weren't using it as much because of the galvanized stack bug. But yeah, that thing is crazy and is okay. Okay, sure, I'll take it. We'll be looking at some of these Rivens later on stream, I'm guessing. Corinth Prime getting a Riven buff. Sure. Kuva Dragoon, the Felarks, that new Incarnon shotgun that I don't even use, got a Riven buff, but I feel like it needs more than just a Riven buff, honestly. Kuva Heck, Kuva Comb getting some Riven buffs, good for them. Strun Prime getting a massive Riven buff, too bad it's a generic shotgun. And the Tigress Prime getting a small Riven buff, too bad it's a generic shotgun. Alright, moving on to secondaries here. We've got the Icarius getting a small nerf from neutral to 0.95. It's one of the best AoE pistols, so it's to be expected. People use good stuff most of the time in this game. Axolotl Prime, a completely forgotten weapon, getting a 0.05 Riven buff. Really not doing anything. It's not doing any favors. It's not going to be changing anything here. Athenai also getting a small Riven buff. Pretty fun weapon if you ask me. Cyanex, decent status procer, can do some small clearing, but yeah, not really too big of a change there. Stenoid Gamma Core, I actually just deleted my Stenoid Gamma Core Riven the other day, so that's kind of funny. Nell Prime getting a massive nerf. Nell Prime getting a bigger nerf than anything in this entire nerf here. Like, this is the biggest nerf. It went from 1.05 to 0.85. I think people were using the Nell Prime for Eidolon fights, so that's probably why that's going down. Yeah, the Nell Prime, honestly, without a Riven, it's a machine gun. Like, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous multi-million damage machine gun pistol if you build it right. So, yeah, that's too bad for people that have good Rivens. Compressor getting a Riven buff. Did you know that multi-shot on the Compressor does not get affected? Or like, there's something about multi-shot on the Compressor that's like bugged out, not working properly. So I have a multi-shot Riven on the Compressor, and I fire off like 16 bubbles or something crazy like that, and like half of them don't even count for Saren's 3. I don't know what's going on there. So yeah, Magnus Prime getting buffed. Who cares? Pandera Prime getting a small Riven buff. I like that thing, but it's the weapon type. It's unusable in the current state of the game. The Pulchrum getting another Riven buff. Dude, this thing has such high Rivens, and it's so clunky feeling that I don't know. I don't know. It's probably not going to change anything for me either. Stickerus Prime getting a Riven buff. Staticore getting a Riven buff. Where's my Tenet Staticore DE? Tenet Diplos and the Tenet Spirax getting Riven buffs as well. There you go. That's the secondaries. The Null Prime got completely smacked, and the other ones kind of got like those 0.05s that we're used to. All right, let's go over melees here. Also, if I sound tired, it's because I literally just woke up. All right, we got the Aram Spinoza. I'm not going to cover every single one of these because who cares about these 0.05s and like the Seti Lacera. Oh man, it sure is making a difference. No, it's not. The main thing here is that the Firax Wraith got its Riven Dispo nerfed. And if you remember from my video on arbitrations the other day, I recommended you bring the Firax or the Firax Wraith for Amalgam Firax Body Count mod to give increased blast radius on rocket launchers. So that's not going to get changed, but if you have a Firax Wraith Riven, that's getting changed. So that's unfortunate, because that weapon actually was pretty good, if you ask me. That's too bad. Galatine Prime getting a buff. Get Ghoulsaw getting a buff. Hespar getting a medium-sized buff. Hespar feels like total garbage, and it has base stat problems, not just Riven problems, if you ask me. So, yeah, I'm probably going to still delete the Hespar Riven. Jet Cuissar getting a Riven buff. Good stuff. I like the Jet Cuissar. Keratinos. Corum. Lol. Who even remembers that thing exists? Legion is getting buff. Masseter. Neferi. That's nice. That's getting a decent buff right there. That's the Fire Daggers from the New War. The Oma got a buff. Praetos got a buff. That's actually very surprising that Praetos got a buff. I think it still has lower Riven stats than the Cronin Prime, but that's actually pretty nice. I might have to mess with that a little bit more. Rock the Dark Dagger and Rumblejack getting buffs. Starpa getting a small nerf. I'm surprised by that because most people use the Vastalok for armor stripping. Also, where's my Sarpa Prime DE? Whatever. Sindo Prime getting another Riven buff. This thing actually has really high Rivens and pretty okay stats, just has really low attack speed. So That might be worth checking out if you like slash weapons and throwing around a giant axe. Sigma Noctantis, Sylvan Aegis Prime. Wait, you're going to buff the Sylvan Aegis and the Sylvan Aegis Prime? Is that the same amount? They buffed the Sylvan Aegis Prime and the Sylvan Aegis Normal the same amount. Okay, I need to do this. DE, do you have any idea? Do you have any idea how low the normal Sylvan Aegis stats are versus the Prime? What? Why are you buffing them the same amount? Look at this stat comparison. Look at this. The Prime has literally 5 times the crit chance. 5 and triple the base damage. You're buffing these weapons ribbons by the same percent? It ain't gonna. There's nothing you can do to change 5 times the crit chance, and even more status chance too. That is just a goofy change, and it's like that just shows you need to not have a robot doing these changes and actually do them with someone that knows how the game's played and like the stats of these weapons. That is hilariously bad. That is hilariously bad. 5 times the crit chance, dude. All right, let's go over these last couple. Tenant Agendus, Tenant Exec, Tenant Gregorian, Tenant Livia, all getting small buffs. The Tenant Gregorian is getting the biggest buff of them all, going from 0.7 to 0.8. And yeah, Venato, that's Caliban's signature scythe that literally everyone forgot existed. It's getting a RIven buff, actually a pretty substantial one too. Verdalock, the scythe, or not scythe, the whip from the New War, getting a RIven buff. I don't think I deleted my RIven, but I'm not sure. Vitrica getting a RIven buff, and Volnus Prime getting a RIven buff. Very small buff on the Volnus Prime. All right, last couple here. We got they nerfed an Arcwing Gun RIven. That's just rude, all right? That's just rude. They nerfed an Arcwing Gun RIven. All right, Corvus Prime getting a big RIven buff. Imperator Vandal getting a RIven buff, but who even uses that now that the Mausolon exists? Kuva Ayanga going from neutral to 0.95. Like, why even bother? That's such, like I said, that's like 4% multi-shot. Like, who? Wow, DE. That's just mean. That's just mean, honestly. And the Phaedra, which is like a Soma in space, getting a RIven buff. Whoop-de-doo. All right, so that's going to be your RIven changes for, let's just go ahead and call it Khora Prime access. If it's not Khora Prime, like, what? How did that even happen? Because it is about to be Khora Prime with Tennocon, so I'll see you guys next time. I will probably be going over some of these Rivens that got changed for me later tonight. I'm trying to take a little bit of a break before I start, because I'm going to be farming a lot this weekend. Like, there's going to be a long stream tomorrow, all Warframe. It's going to be a long stream on Saturday, all Warframe, and we'll see about Sunday. And that's going to be mostly farming Steel Essence and Vitus Essence, so yeah. I'm going to probably look at some Rivens, and we're going to play some variety stuff tonight. I got like a new Resident Evil game I want to check out. I got some other stuff. I reinstalled Dota too. That could maybe kind of be interesting to try out. It's just a click fest though, so we'll see. All right, guys. Either way, I hope you found the video enjoyable and helpful. Stack Decay bug is fixed as far as I can tell. I haven't tested everything, but on the things I have tested, it is fixed. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.